Today, we're diving into one of the most essential tools for any watercolor artist, the color wheel. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to paint a simple yet beautiful color wheel using just your watercolor paints. We'll mix primary, secondary, and even tertiary colors, and I'll explain the basics of color theory along the way, like what makes a color complementary and why it matters for your art. Grab your paints and let's get started. Some of you have been asking about color mixing and what do complementary colors mean and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do a quick video here of the basics of color theory. So I'm just making a circle with a mason jar inner top lid. And you can do this with anything that you have circular or like a plate, or you can use a compass. And we are going to divide this into 12 pie pieces. So I'm going to do a line like that. And then we will do this. Try to get them relatively even as far as size goes, but my center is offline there, but that's okay. It can be a whimsical and wonky, I'm going to move my paint, color wheel. And 3, so 6, oops, that didn't quite show up there. And I just need to do this one more time. Yeah, some of these are going to be bigger than others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that is what we need. The important thing to note here is that we're going to lay down our primary colors first. And our primary colors are the colors that no other colors can make up. So there are foundational colors that make every other color possible. So I'm using permanent red, lemon yellow, cobalt blue. You can use whatever red, yellow, and blue that you have. And let me grab some water and my brush. I'm going to dip straight into the pure colors and I'm going to lay these down. Now we want to make sure that we have 3 pie pieces in between each of the primary colors. So I'm going to, if we do this one here, yellow. Then I need to clean off my brush and I'm going to dip straight into the red, and we need to have 3 pie pieces in between before we lay down our red. And I'm going to be careful not to touch the colors in the middle, because then they'll start blending into each other and such, which does kind of have a cool effect, but really for your color wheel you want to keep it as clean as you can. And then I'm going to go into the blue, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put that one right here. Okay, so we've got our primary colors down. And the next part of the color theory is that when I mix these 2 colors together, we're going to get a color right here on the wheel. So but since I already have blue in my brush, I'm going to mix the blue and the yellow together and we'll get a color right here. And I just cleaned out the blue in my brush, so it's kind of, doesn't matter which colors I start with now. We want to try to keep our colors even amounts of color that we lay down on the palette. So that will give us our green. And then we put that right here. And that is called a secondary color on the color wheel. So secondary color is the mixture of two of the primary colors. Okay, then we're going to go with red and yellow. And we'll put that down here. Oh, I might have a bit too much red in there because the red is stronger than the yellow. So I'm going to try to get some even amount of yellow here with the red, and that will form our orange, which is also a secondary color. Okay, and then we have one more to go, the red and the blue. So let's put our blue down here. And just maybe not quite so much red there as I did with the yellow. And the red. Okay, and that will give us our purple. Now, depending on, there's also cool and warm colors, cool and warm versions of each primary color. So if you have a warmer version of a red, then you're going to get more of a red, reddish purple. Then if you had a cooler version of the blue, you'll get more of a bluey purple. Okay, so those are our secondary colors. And I just want to make a note here while we have just these on our color wheel. A complementary color is the color that is opposite from another color on the wheel. So when I say that orange is the complement of blue, it's because it's the opposite on the color wheel. And so the green and the red are complements of each other, and the yellow and the purple are complement colors of each other. And what that means is that if you really want your painting to stand out, you will perhaps feature a color palette in your painting of some complementary colors. So if you do a blue sky and some orange trees for, like, say, the season of autumn, then that will make your painting really pop because you're using a complement of that color in the color wheel. Same thing for red and green, and then and the blue, the purple and the yellow. So that's what a complementary color is. So whenever you want something to pop, put this complement next to it, and that will just brighten up your picture immensely. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the tertiary colors, which is a mix of a secondary and a primary color. So when we mix the orange and the yellow together, we're going to get the tertiary yellow-orange here. So if I dip into my yellow and just add it to that orange that I had made earlier, I'll do a little bit more there, we're going to be getting a yellow-orange, like so. And then when I clean my brush, and if we add more red to that orange that we made, we'll get more of a reddish orange color here. There we go. So that's a tertiary color. So I'm going to clean my brush, and we're going to then do the same thing with the purple that we just made up. We're going to add some blue to one part of it here. And that will give us a nice, almost like an indigo blue. And this would be great for a night sky. or even some darker water if you were to do a landscape painting. So that's how you make indigo. And then we're going to mix the red and the purple. So I'm going to add some red to this purple that we already made up. And we're going to get a nice deep red here. And that's like almost like a like a cranberry color. I like that. That would be good for Christmas or the holidays. Okay, then we are going to do the yellow and the green. So I'll do part of that with some yellow here. And we will enter that onto that slot of the color wheel. And that will make like a yellow-green, which can be a nice leaf color. And our final one is going to be the blue and the green. So we're going to add some blue to this other part of that green there. And this will make up a very nice kind of forest green, which should also be nice for some landscapes. Okay, so that is our very quick lesson in color theory. And again, if you want to still do the complements with your secondary and your tertiary colors, then you would just do whatever is opposite on the color wheel, and that will also give a nice complement to these colors, like so. So this one is the red orange and the blue green. So that would look really nice in, say, a Halloween or a fall picture. And this one here is our sort of our indigo color and our yellow orange, and that's also a nice color combination. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you found this helpful. That's just a very brief lesson on how I mix my colors on the color palette. You'll see that I usually just use these 3 colors, and then I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I mix them along. But this will actually give you a better idea of if you want this kind of color, then you know that you have to mix this and this one together. And since you already then know how to make the purple, then you'll know how to make this color here. So again, yeah, I read all my comments. So if you could let me know if you found this video helpful, and give me some ideas for some future videos if you want some more explanations about color and watercolor. Feel free to leave a comment. Wishing you all a world of whimsy, and take care.